Next on Broadway Profiles, Be Positive. We're talking to one of the hilarious stars of that hit new CBS sitcom, Broadway star Annaleigh Ashford. Plus, Jeremy Jordan is here to talk Broadway, Supergirl, and his new Hallmark movie, Mix Up in the Mediterranean. And the new single and new album from Tony nominee Laura Bell Bundy. I'm Tamsen Fadal. This is Broadway Profiles, presented by Broadway.com. Glad you could be here. I'm Tamsen Fadal. So one of the funniest sitcoms to come around in a long time is Be Positive on CBS. It stars Tony winner Annaleigh Ashford, maybe best known to Broadway fans for her breakout role in Kinky Boots alongside Billy Porter. Now she's poised to be one of the next big names in comedy. She talked to Broadway.com's editor-in-chief, Paul Wontorek.
I'm afraid you're in renal failure.
You're saying I need a new kidney?
I haven't seen you since high school! What if I give you my kidney?
What? You can't just make a rash decision like this.
Can I?
Who's Gunner?
Exactly!
What's it been like for you jumping into the show and to see it becoming a hit?
Oh, it's, a dream come true, like the dreamiest of dreams come true. My character, Gina, is giving her old friend from high school her kidney. They happen to be a match, and he needs a kidney, and she's got one. And she's the kind of girl that will do shots with you all night long and tell you that she'll give you her kidney when she's wasted, but then wake up and find out that that's what she did and go, okay, yeah, I'll still do it.
If they don't think you're mentally sound, they could prevent you from donating.
Well, I got out of jury duty by convincing them I was mentally unsound, so I'm sure I can do the opposite.
Talk about Gina. How did you sort of fall in love with her and get to know this character?
I always love characters that have a big heart but can't get out of their own way, like they just create a mess that is impossible to climb out of. I always sort of think that she's the kind of person that, when you're on the airplane and they're, remember when we used to fly on airplanes sometimes?
Yeah.
They say, put your mask on yourself before you do anybody else. And she's the kind of person that, the masks come down and she does her neighbor across the aisle, and then she orders a drink, and then she puts on her mask. So Drew has to sort of teach her how to take care of herself and find love for herself. And as the series goes on, we get to kind of find out why Gina is this way. And, we aren't a hot mess for no reason. And Drew is straight as an arrow, likes things really clean, would never leave a bowl of cereal in the sink, and she eats cereal out of the sink.
You've been finding great luck on television, and I've been seeing you in a lot of shows, but this is really sort of fits like a glove.
Since I was a kid, I have been watching not only sitcoms, but the old sitcoms. The oldies are my faves. I was one of those kids that I liked Nickelodeon, but I liked Nick at Night more. And I loved Cheers. So I have a real gratitude for the art form of sitcom comedy. And it also, it stems back to vaudeville and to all of the great comedies of the early Broadway work. That's where it all comes from. The best comedy always comes out of honesty, so I'm really just couldn't be luckier that I get to tell a story that not only comes from a real place, but it's a real place for a lot of people around the country. My mom's actually the recipient of an organ donation. She's had 2 cornea transplants, so we always like to joke that she sees through other people's eyes, but literally.
Fun conversation, for sure. I also talked to Annaleigh about her favorite recipes, how she lost 40 pounds after the birth of her son, parenting, her Broadway performances, and a whole lot more. You can see the full interview right now on Broadway.com. Back to you, Tamsen.
Jeremy Jordan has a career most actors can only dream of, even during a pandemic. He is cranking out films and television appearances, all while raising a toddler with his wife. And right now, he's starring in a new movie, Mix Up in the Mediterranean, streaming on Hallmark. Have a look. Hallmark is just doing some great things lately. I'm excited to see you're involved with them.
Yeah, it's funny. I play identical twins who are both cooks and or chefs. And basically, one is gay and one is straight. The gay brother is a little bit more successful. He's got a restaurant in the city. He's happily married, and he gets invited to this international cooking competition. The other brother is he's at home in Alaska where they grew up. and still working as a short order cook at a diner. The one brother gets invited to this international cooking competition, and finally gets his brother to come along because they needed to spend some time bonding together. They've kind of fallen apart, and he immediately gets hurt, and so they fully parent trap the whole thing.
I will compete as you. What? That's crazy.
This sort of hapless, really shy, straight guy is like trying to be this outgoing brother and pretend that he knows what he's doing when he has absolutely no idea.
As you. As me. As me, I think. Yes, wait, no. Yes, I am you. You are me.
And then, of course, what happens is the person running the competition is a beautiful woman, and he immediately is smitten by her. And she's also smitten by him, though very confusedly, because he's apparently gay and married and doesn't understand why there's this chemistry. It's just really silly and fun. The fact that they explore love in different ways, and maybe less conventional ways is really exciting to have on Hallmark,
Okay, you need to be careful, because if she finds out, we were in big trouble.
So you've just done a lot of everything. You've got you've got the stage, you've got TV, small screen, big screen. Talk about Supergirl.
Well, I did 3 seasons of Supergirl, 1 through 3, and then I ended up leaving to go start a family in Jersey, and so I've come back a couple of times, but yeah, it was a really, really wonderful experience. I mean, I'm such a kind of a nerd myself, and so getting to be in a superhero TV show was a little bit of a dream come true. But I missed the stage, and I wanted to come back, and that's when I did American Son and Waitress, and I am anxious to go back to television though, because I like to try to stay well-rounded as possible, and get to do little bits of this and that. And, it's one of the great things about being an actor or performer, especially a stage performer, is that, you don't really hang your hat in one place. You get to kind of move from one end. If you're lucky, and if it's not a pandemic, you get to just move from one thing to the next and really get to try out different lives and different genres and avenues of entertaining people.
Tony-nominated Broadway star and singer Laura Bell Bundy is out with new music. She just dropped her latest single, American Girl.
When the American promise is the land of the free, but I'm waiting for the bill for the air that I breathe. Why is it so hard being an American girl?
It's one of the tracks off her upcoming new album, Women of Tomorrow. Broadway.com correspondent Charlie Cooper has the story for us.
Thanks, Tamsen. With Broadway roles under her belt like Elle Woods and Glinda the Good, Laura Bell Bundy knows a thing or two about girl power. I caught up with her to speak about her new projects and her hope to return to the Great Bright Way. Let's talk about Women of Tomorrow, your album that's coming out this spring. Talk to us a little bit about what inspired your new music.
I think my experience in the world as a woman, bumping my head up against the glass ceiling, seeing other women around me also bump their head. And it's weird, I thought, if I've been living under a rock and I've not seen this for 35 years of my life, and now I'm seeing this and I'm horrified by it and I can't look away. And I took that as almost like a calling, because I threw myself into understanding why we got to the place we did. And I threw myself into women's history. I was overwhelmed with what I was learning and uncovering about the inequality. I decided to make this album. And because I'm a songwriter, all the songs came out in an original style.
Well, she dreamed a little dream, aced the test, rose with a diploma, no time to rest. Got a job, a flat, joined the race. Never tell this woman she should know her place.
The music, the sound of it sounds a little throwback in an ironic way. So I've taken the contrast of this old school sort of sexy jazzy sound with a little bit of pop element, and I'm putting very modern ideas, modern lyrics, modern thoughts around it.
Strike it, ride it, let 'em fight it, get it, girl, you go.
Each of the songs on the album delves into a different issue that women are facing today. And Get It Girl You Go, which was the first to come out, while we're not necessarily delving into an issue, we're celebrating how far we've come, which also states we had to come far. American Girl deals with our sort of, as women, we're sold this idea that when we grow up, we're going to have that, we got to have that picket fence, and we got to have that ring. We've got to have that body that everybody has been advertising that is the body to have. We've got to have those clothes, that nose, what she has.
Yeah.
And then we think that's what's going to get us happiness. Then we get those things sometimes, and we still wonder why we're unhappy.
Why is it so hard being an American girl?
Do you have any plans at all to return to Broadway once the curtains come back up?
Oh, hell yeah. 100%. I have a toddler. The last show, the last show I did Sweet Charity in LA. And that was like 3 months before I got pregnant, because I was like, I just got to get one more show in before I have a kid. And now I've had the kid and he's in a good place. And I'm like, okay, I could do this again. And I'm going to live in New Jersey. And so it's not going to be like I'm uprooting my family.
Right.
So I really am ready. And I'm excited for that. And I'm planning on turning this album that I'm doing. I'm in the process of beginning to turn that into a musical of sorts.
Okay, we've all been waiting for this one. Let's go ahead and talk Tony Awards. We still don't know exactly when the ceremony will be held, but we can tell you that Tony voters are finally able to make their picks. Just 18 shows are eligible for awards because of the COVID-shortened Broadway season, with Jagged Little Pill and Moulin Rouge leading the way with the most nominations. Speaking of the Tony Awards, the show not only celebrates the best plays and musicals and the top actors, but also the stars who work behind the scenes. We caught up with two of this year's nominees, choreographer Sonia Taya and composer Tom Kitt.
The process of making Moulin Rouge was just this epic, beautiful show that has so much dance that drives a story, which I think is so beautiful to have dance drive a narrative. And if I were to pick a show as my first Broadway debut, it's just like fully in my wheelhouse in terms of the access behind the dancing. I was rehearsing when they announced it, and I just heard my phone. It just kept dinging and dinging and dinging and dinging, and I walked over to the phone, and it was like slow motion, and I just wept and wept. More about just you go back to the work it took to get here.
It just put theater into the air again, and you were able to just feel its spirit, and that was really, really wonderful. And then for Jagged Little Pill, so many first-time nominees, and I've been in many a season, and sometimes that light shines on you and sometimes it doesn't, and when it does, it's really a moment to stop and just really appreciate it. So I think that's what we all wanted to do, and just get a sense of something that we get to move towards.
Don't go anywhere. There's still a lot more to talk about on this edition of Broadway Profiles. Becoming Mufasa. Coming up next, we're going to take you behind the scenes at Disney's The Lion King to meet the man who transforms into the king of the jungle. I'm Tamsen Fadal, and this is Broadway Profiles. The Lion King is one of Broadway's biggest shows and hottest national tours. Definitely a must-see, but you've never seen it like this. Before the shutdown, we went behind the scenes at The Lion King with L. Stephen Taylor. He plays Mufasa, and he is this week's character study.
Mufasa's the ultimate dad. And when I came into the show, I was a young dad myself, and trying to fill the shoes of being the ultimate father was a little bit daunting. I think that I went through a period of time where my portrayal of Mufasa was more exacting ruler and kingly than how I play him now. And I feel like now that I've come into who I am as a performer, and especially who I am as a father, I feel like I've gotten a good balance on how to make him something that's very specific to who I am. Half hour is my call, and that's my makeup call. I like to get here a little bit earlier. The makeup plot for Mufasa, vibrant reds, yellows, oranges. The colors in his makeup reflect the colors of the sun. And also the shape of the makeup and the shape of his costume and the mask that Mufasa wears are all very symmetrically driven, like the sun is. And so you see that that's a theme that's repeated throughout when it comes to Mufasa's symmetry, bright, vibrant, positivity. And I like to go and visit with the ensemble and the other principals in the show. Our show is really community driven, and I feel like Mufasa is at the helm of that. That helps me get grounded and rooted in that community aspect of our show before I even go on stage. We are like a pretty big family, so it makes it pretty easy. When I first started wearing this costume and putting the mask on and the collar and the cape and the corset, I felt like it kind of swallowed me up. I kind of made it a goal of mine to stop feeling like I was, playing in my daddy's clothes. So the gym is a very big part of how I stay in shape for doing the show, but also how I fill out that costume. One of the mistakes that I made when I first started doing the show is I was trying to play royalty. And when you put on that costume, it automatically pulls you up. I don't think it's by mistake that Mufasa wears a corset and there's a collar that lays across his shoulders. There's this big mask piece that's on his head. Those are the elements that make you feel like royalty. Putting that crown on kind of seals the deal responsibility-wise. And also, it just also takes me back to a place of humility. I feel really lucky. I've grown up with this show. I'm continuing to grow with the show, and I look forward to seeing what's left on the journey.
Still ahead, it is Broadway's longest running and best loved musicals. We're going to talk to one cast member of Phantom of the Opera about why she's just got to dance. I'm Tamsen Fadal. We'll be right back. There's no question about it, Phantom of the Opera is by far Broadway's longest running musical. It's a timeless story, and it's an unforgettable score. It is a measuring stick for all other Broadway musicals. We talked to one of the members of the ballet ensemble about why she's just got to dance.
Hi, my name is Carly Blake Cebuian. I grew up on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. I'm born and raised New Yorker, which is so unusual. When I was 3, my mom put me into ballet class. I loved it. I just kept doing it and happened to be good at it, so I just kept going with it. My first time on stage, I was 6, and I was in the Nutcracker, of course. And I was a teeny little party scene girl in this giant poofy dress, and I was absolutely petrified, and I cried backstage the whole time. My mom had to come console me, and she was like, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to go on stage, it'll be okay. And I sucked it up and went on, and then never looked back. And when I was a teenager, I sort of switched my focus and decided that I wanted to sort of have more fun with dance, and I started auditioning for musicals. When I was 19, I booked Phantom and started working in theater. I feel like theater just lets you be creative. I definitely had to let go of my rigidity because you're so technical in the ballet world. And it was fun to just kind of let myself go and have fun dancing and not be so specific about stuff and express yourself. In the ballet world, you're supposed to fit into this mold. You're supposed to, in the ensemble of a musical, you get to be yourself, which is exciting and fun. So that was really fun to discover who I was as a dancer.
Of course, February is Black History Month. We asked some of our favorite Broadway stars to celebrate their heroes.
The artist that I would like to acknowledge is my best friend, Noah J. Ricketts. During 2020, Noah stepped into his power and reclaimed his artistry and his purpose. He created a lot of art that I know he's going to be very proud of years to come.
I would like to celebrate all the artists of color. This has been a particularly fraught time. Just keep your head up, hold on, you're beautiful.
So you want me to reflect on whom I think we should look to for Black History Week study? Let's try Benjamin Banneker, the gentleman, the scientist, who gave us also the Almanac. We don't know too much about him. Crispus Attucks, so our children will realize whom this America was fought for really to win their freedom. All the jazz singers that brought us great music, but also those we do not talk about or mention because they're not popular. George Washington Carver, W.D. Du Bois. I'm just a few. I throw that out. I'll see you then. Happy February, Black History Month. But let's make it a Seder for our lives.
And that's going to do it for us. Until next week, I'm Tamsen Fadal. This is Broadway Profiles, presented by Broadway.com.